On March 31st, 2011, this is Pulling You number 58. Greeting, Bridge friends. It's Michael here at Bridge Hands. This is day 5 on our discussion about losers on losers. No, we're all winners on winners, but this is more on our discussion of avoidance, elimination, and end plays. Okay, let's begin. Before we get into the nitty-gritty on avoidance, elimination, and end plays as it pertains to loser on losers, let's talk about losers on loser concept at large. In fact, better than that, let's begin our quest by taking a look at the declarer's basic trick-taking strategies. So what in your mind are the big three? What's the triad? What's the trinity that you think of for a declarer taking extra tricks? Well, one would be roughing a side suit loser in dummy. So if we have losers in our hand, the declarer's hand, and we see a short suit in the dummy, we have enough trump, we oftentimes want to eliminate those losers by roughing them in the dummy. The second one? Promotion. Yes, that's a big one, isn't it? Either in the dummy where there's a nice 5-card suit in the dummy, and once we pull trump, we can promote the dummy's hand, or maybe we have a second suit in our hand, and we'd like to promote that and eliminate some losers in the dummy. Third one? Finessing. Right. Finessing is a third way that we can have to develop extra tricks when we have tennises, those split honors, and we can make a finesse to gain extra tricks. Well, in the loser on loser concept, we're going to take a look at using these 3 basic principles to gain extra tricks. And for sure, when it comes to avoidance, elimination, and end plays, we're going to be using extensions of these same 3 strategies. Okay, let's begin. So generally, the loser on loser concept, why do we want to give up a trick anyway? Well, think the big 3. Remember the triad. Remember the trinity from the previous page. I think this will help you as we go through these. We might know that the right-hand opponent will over-rough the card that we have in the dummy. We have some little ones, some babies in the dummy. We can see that the left-hand opponent on lead has got a lot in the suit, and there's a high-low signal by the right-hand opponent, and there's going to be a higher trump they're going to have than us. So we might want to eliminate a loser in the dummy. We'll see this in a little bit. Second, we foresee a future opponent who will rough or over-rough. Aha! Another variation of the roughing strategy by the opponents. Well, how about us? Sure, yes. We might gain a future rough on our side by putting a loser on loser. Okay, remember the other 2 strategies? How declare gets extra tricks? Right. One of them is finessing. And an adaptation of this is if we avoid the dangerous opponent getting on the lead. They will finesse us. So if we can put the other opponent on the lead, let's say the left-hand opponent, when we're declarer, they can't come through us because they're on the wrong side to do so. We might use a loser on loser to prevent this from happening. In fact, you've seen this on previous lessons. And the last one? What's the last 3 of the big triad? Right, to promote a side suit. Either in the dummy or in the declarer's hand. We might play a loser on loser to eventually have an entry and to gain tricks in the dummy side suit. Okay, let's continue. Let's begin by taking a look at a fairly classic situation of a loser on loser with an opponent over a situation. So West has opened with a weak 2 bid promising a 6-card suit and little else, and they lead the ace of their long suit. In dummy, we have a doubleton. In the east, they play the high of a doubleton, and we have 3. So the suit is a 6-3-2-2. So they're going to continue on 1, 2, and 3 of their long suit. On the third play of the dummy, we can rough, but we don't have any high cards in the dummy, and we're fairly certain that by our suit, let's say we have a 9-card trump suit, that there is 2 or maybe 3 cards held by the east hand. So if we're going to rough, we're just going to get over-roughed by east. So another strategy would be to say, well, we've got 2 losers in clubs. Let's say this is the club suit, 1 in the dummy. Why not instead on the third play of the long suit, we, rather than rough it, pitch our loser, putting a loser on a loser. So when West plays the third of their red cards from the ace, king, queen, whether East wants to rough it or pitch another card, they're going to win 3 tricks anyway. We cannot prevent that. We can play a trump. They're going to over-rough it. But instead, if we get rid of our single loser in this black suit, let's say it's clubs, when they get in to play the club suit, the club is gone. And we can go ahead and pull trump, We can go ahead and rough 2 of these clubs, and we're home free. And we've held our losers to 3 rather than 4 losers otherwise. Very good. So let's have one more review on a loser on a loser. In this case, we are in the spade suit. We have ace, king, queen, 10 in our south hand. In the north hand, we have jack third. And notice we also have a fit in the diamond suit. We have ace, king 5 times in south hand and queen, jack, 10, 9 in the north hand. So a double fit in the pointed suits, spades and diamonds, which means the opponents, therefore, must have a double fit in hearts and the club suit. At any rate, we're highlighting the heart suit here, and the lead is a jack of hearts, which we can see is going to pin our queen of hearts, isn't it? Well, fortunately, we only have a singleton here in our south hand, so when the second heart is played, what's our strategy going to be? Are you thinking about roughing with this 10 of spades? I hope not. Remember, this is loser on loser time, right? Right. So what we want to do is we want to pitch 2 of these club losers. Let them win a second. Let them win a third. Our queen is pinned anyway. Well, why is that, you're asking? Why don't we just go ahead and rough it and pull trump? Well, I hope you're not a betting person if that's your thought. We have 4 spades in the south hand. We have 3 spades in the north. That's 7. That leaves them 6. Are you thinking they're going to be 3-3? I hope not. That's only a 36% chance. That's a 1 in 3 chance. So don't bet against yourself. Most often it's going to be 4-2. So what you want to do is when they play, you want to go ahead and just pitch these club losers. Let them win the first one. On the second one, happily pitch a club. On the third one, happily pitch another club. Club losers are gone. If they want to continue on with a 4th heart, fine. We can rough it with a jack. Fine. We can then go ahead and play our trump. If they're 4-2, as we expect, we can go ahead and get all 4 of their trump. We can then set up the 5 in the diamond suit. So we're going to receive 4 spades, 5 diamonds, and 1 club. That's 10 tricks. And if we're in a 4-spade game, that's what we want to get. Even if we're in 3 spades, try this strategy. Make your over trick. Of course, we hope that most of the time that we don't have a 4-3 fit. You can imagine a situation like this, though, where there's a double fit. The opponents might get exuberant and go up to 4 hearts, knowing that they have a heart and club suit. We having the spade and the diamond. Thank goodness our suit is 1 higher than theirs. They might be bidding on favorable vulnerability. Maybe they realize they'll go down several, but they're pushing us, and we cannot make 5 diamonds, so we're going to settle for a 4 spade. So does this concept work every time, all the time? No, it's not necessarily a dominant thing, but look at the various situations, and when you see you can have a sure thing to make a game versus saying maybe on a 3-3 split, that 36% chance. Think about this one. Think about pitching some losers and setting up, promoting a sign suit. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. So what are some of the clues, the telltale signs that we look for to employ for in-play tactics? Not necessarily with loser on losers, but just basic avoidance, elimination, and in-plays. Well, one is we have nothing to lose by trying. How do they say it? Desperate times require, yes, desperate measures. So we need to find a spectacular play to make our contract. Another, you might require an extra trick to make the contract, one you wouldn't otherwise make. Or maybe you're looking for an over trick, and you can see that an in-play tactic might gain you extra tricks. A third, yes, beware of the dangerous opponent. You recall earlier we talked about finessing, having tennises in our hand, not wanting the right-hand opponent to get in and play through us. Next, mirrored side, suit, shape, and extra trump. This is a classic attribute that we look for when thinking about avoidance, elimination, and end plays. And lastly, counting and discards. Counting is a little bit more difficult to keep track of the opponent's suits when we think we're busy watching our own. It gets better with time. And also the discards. If we're playing a suit and we can see that one opponent shows out in the suit, that gives us some extra indications on how to play that opponent or maybe the other opponent for the side suits. Timing is a critical element in life. It certainly is in bridge, at least when it comes to avoidance, elimination, and end plays. So whether you're acting or investing, maybe skydiving, or maybe asking for that first date, timing is everything. And when it comes to end plays, avoidance, and elimination plays, know when to throw in. Know when to throw in the opponents. And when is that? Well, typically we want to first eliminate the opponent's side suit options. That's right. We want to go ahead and pull trump. We want to go ahead and take those suits with mirrored values, play those out, leaving the opponent very few options, hopefully just one option, in which to make a play. So we have to do our background work first. It might be trick 7, 8, 9, perhaps even trick 10, before we're ready to throw the opponents in. So in our previous sessions, we've looked at some various tactics to throw the opponents in. But why do we need to have a loser-on-loser tactic here? Well, one might be we need to throw that non-dangerous opponent into the lead, and we have no other way to do it. Another is we might lack some of those intermediate cards, some of those assist cards, to put perhaps our left-hand opponent in the lead. So maybe we've got a 9, 10, or jack. We play from the dummy hand, and we put one of those intermediate cards up in third hand, and now our left-hand opponent has to go up with a higher card to win. In our loser-on-loser, we may not have this luxury. We don't have those intermediate spot cards. Another reason, we want to force the opponents to help us. Yes, we like our partner to help us, and we're certainly appreciative when the opponents can give us a helping hand also. In fact, in some instances, they may not know our exact holdings in our hand, and when they're put in the lead, they may not make the best play. So charity is always appreciated, and the better the bridge player is, the more they give the opponents an opportunity to make a mistake. Prophetic words to always keep in the back of our mind. Okay, at this point, let's pull this all together and use a classic throw-in and end-play strategy for a loser-on-loser. To execute this, we're going to have ace, king, and 2 small opposite 2 babies in the other hand. So we have a 6-card combined side suit, and that leaves 6 from 13. The opponents have 7. What we're going to do is we're going to pull trump. We're going to take care of some side suits. We're going to eliminate the opportunity for the opponents to play several side suits. Now on this side suit, we're going to win the ace. We're going to win the king. We're going to ruff the 3rd, and then we're going to come back to this hand, and on the 4th play, we're going to go ahead and do a pitch. So we're ruffing the 3rd, and we're throwing the dangerous opponent, or the opponent who's going to have to give us a ruff and a slough on the 4th card. So whether by planning, cunning, or maybe just good fortune, we play a loser-on-loser on this 4th card in the suit. The ace-king, ruff 1, get back to the hand, and pitch 1 from the other hand on the 4th, putting, hopefully, the dangerous opponent onto the lead. Okay, now let's take a look at a different type of throw and end play. This time we're going to have 3 cards opposite 3. Ace-king 3rd opposite jack 3rd. So with this holding, only one opponent can win with the queen. Now we might think, hopefully, the non-dangerous opponent is the one who wins. And that would be a little bit of a measure of desperation. Sometimes we need to do this. But there are other circumstances. Let's talk about those. One might be, let's say the south hand, the one in between these, has bid the suit, showing a 5-card suit. Yes, they could have queen, 10, 9, 5 times in the suit. Another situation is we've been counting the hand down. The person in the south hand has opened the bidding, and they haven't shown enough points. They've only shown about 10 points. So we know they have to have the queen, or they shouldn't have opened the bidding. And what we're going to do is we're going to strip this suit down. We're going to play the small to the ace, the king, and then we're going to throw the south opponent in. Now they have to come back to the hand on the right over in the east side, and good things are going to happen because they're going to finesse themselves or their partner on a side suit. Either that or it's a rough and slough situation. Now before going on, I should say there is a pseudo-finesse possibility here. That is where the east hand is the closed hand, the declarer. They lead the jack, and if the player in the south hand thinks that it's from a jack 10, maybe jack 10 tight, they may not want to cover it. They should, but sometimes this pseudo or psych finesse does actually work. So that is another option, and you'll have to evaluate the bidding, you'll have to evaluate the play, and certainly the opponent's ability. Most people in the south, if they're good players, they're going to cover the jack with the queen when it gets to about trick 7, 8, or 9, so that won't work. So obviously the 3 and 3 situation here where we have ace-king 3rd opposite jack 3rd, not the preferred. It might be more a measure of desperation, but sometimes that's what's required. Desperate measures, desperate times. Generally, regarding avoidance, elimination, and end plays, there are other possibilities, and they certainly apply here too for loser on losers. Consider the opponent's bidding. Evaluate the leads, such as a top of sequence lead. Watch the cards. Look for eventual voids in one of the player's hand. Count the suits. Make deductions based upon the suit length of each player. And consider the signals. The opponents might be false carding, or they might find it more important to give signals to one another. You may use those at your benefit as declarer also. So in summary, many of the tactics that we learned from avoidance, elimination, and end plays certainly apply here to our loser-on-loser strategies. Remember, the dangerous opponent. We like our finesses to work. We'd like them to work 100%. And if we can throw a left-hand opponent into the lead, then they're either going to finesse their partner or themselves. That or the rough slough. Secondly, regarding roughing, sometimes when we see the opponent's going to over-rough us, we might as well just pitch a loser since we're going to lose one anyway. The loser-on-loser strategy. Similarly, sometimes we can pitch a loser so we can do the roughing. Even better. And third, yes, one of the favorites, promotion. So we might have to pitch a loser in order to gain tricks from either our hand or the dummy. And what pulls this all together? Timing. Yes, timing is critical. Timing is everything. So we have to do our work first as a prerequisite. We have to pull trump. We have to have plenty of trump to do this. We have to take care of our side suits, a couple side suits, so that they can't pull us back in the lead on those side suits. We have to eliminate their plays so they only have one suit to play, the one most favorable to us. Or, if there are two suits and they don't know which one, yes, we want to give them that guess. Let's make life interesting. Okay, bridge friends, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of our lesson for our free Premium and Ultra members. On our next segment, we will analyze bidding and play based upon avoidance, elimination, and end plays as it pertains to loser-on-loser strategies. For our Premium and Ultra members, in part 3, we have more exciting hands and commentary dealing with slam bidding and play, and even a no-trump auction, something we don't normally expect to use a loser-on-loser strategy during play. Of course, if you're not currently a member, we welcome you to regularly begin enjoying membership privileges for under $10 for a 3-month subscription. So don't delay. Come on to Bridge Hands and sign up today. Okay, everyone. See you on the flip side. Bye for now.